latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Outdoors Outdoors with me, Mike. Sending you guys a bit of a review video on a product from Outdoor Revolution. So with me here today, I've got the Outdoor Revolution Cayman Combo Air. So the combo was introduced into the season for 2021 and goes in forward into 22 with a few tweaks and actually some updates which actually make it almost better value than it was in 21. So throughout the video, we'll kind of go through the nitty-gritty details of the awning as well as the fixation points and things like that as well. So first of all, it's quite a unique awning that is very versatile. The ability that actually will fit on most vehicles, and it doesn't matter, you almost got two entrances as well. So it's like sort of a mirror image of itself. So you've got kind of an open canopy at the front and also an open canopy at the back. So flexibility-wise, gives you the great thing is if the weather does change, you can more than happily obviously just use the back as your main door rather than the front if you've got the wind driving in, the rain driving in. So that is really nice. Plus giving you sort of shelter there at the front and back. And it means that you can almost bring the back of the van more into kind of your daily living, camping living, if you really need to. Or if, for example, you've got like a California van and you've got a sliding door on the opposite side, this can fit on the other side and it's going to not really chop and change. So it's almost like a reverse version, or an RSV as some people call it, on its own. Nice simple thing. You've got two beams to pump up, so the whole pitching process is quite easy to do. You can check out our own at-walls pitching and packing video, myself doing it. I think it took me no longer about 10 minutes to pitch the whole thing, which means it's brilliant for sort of weekend trips. Let's say if you want to go away for a little bit longer. You've got essentially as a hybrid, so you've got kind of two inflatable tubes, one located there, one located there. Essentially a really nice dynamic valve, so there's a big opening so you can get the air in quite easily and also get the air out as well. It's also to bear in mind that a manual pump does come supplied with the actual awning as well. You've then got two fiberglass poles which we insert afterwards. You thread it through the sleeve and then Velcro on underneath. So again, it helps to keep the sort of cost down for one, but also the pack size down as well. So that is another thing to contend with. You've got guide points around the whole area and low level webbing straps to get the tension as and when you see fit. Big crystal clear windows give you great sort of visibility out, but then you've got privacy curtains behind that when you want that level of sort of secureness and ability to hide your belongings. A low level ventilation beneath the window is going to help with circulation of air. Now there's one thing that does make this quite unique in many ways is that you can actually enclose the front or even the back of it. So there's an optional porch door which you can buy for it. It physically zips on the very top and then toggles along the side to create an complete enclosure. One porch door is universal, so it'll fit on the back or the front. So again, you get that flexibility of changing it. And a new thing for 22 is that there's now an additional inner bedroom that can go inside of that kind of porch door. So you can sleep someone at the back of the awning or at the front without necessarily taking up internal living space. They've extended the front part of the actual sort of combo a little bit as well, just to kind of make it a much more usable space and also benefit from that kind of extra additional set. From my understanding, actually the porch door is still compatible with the previous year's model in terms of the zip. Just needs a little bit of tweaking as we go around here. In fact, let's have a little look at that porch door and what it looks like now. So that's the inside and outside view. Obviously from the inside purposes, you've got that ground sheet in there as well. So it becomes really a much part of your main kind of living area. We've got a small pack size. So again, it comes in a nice little bag with obviously like pump as I mentioned before, as well as the pegs. Now it's available in two different heights. So you can get it in a low or a mid. The low is basically going to do from 180 to 220, the mid is 220 to 255, so you can pretty much dictate what height it's going to go to. Lows could be by far and away the most common size, just because it's going to fit more like your sort of transporters or your VW kind of vans, whereas the mid's more designed for maybe like panel vans. The only thing I'd be careful is how wide the tunnel section is in relation to your sliding door. For these kind of models, it's normally just about okay. Anything wider, then it does kind of get a bit more precarious. In terms of the actual fixation points, you've got the ability of having it's got a pre-sewn in 6mm and 4mm beading. So you can fit that directly into a normal sort of C-channel or a wind-out awning if you wished. Personally, you probably wouldn't do that just because it's an absolute pig when you want to come drive away. So the key thing is to buy a fixing kit that will allow you to attach with ease. You've also got the ability, if you really want to use some throw guy ropes, take it over the top of the vehicle, peg it down the other side and pull that material nice and tight to it. You've got lots of adjustment systems, so you can actually adjust the side of it to kind of get that sort of looking quite sharp. And also there's a draw cord system as well that out to get that tunnel looking a bit neater. So you've got 2 stages there where you can kind of adapt it to the right height. You also got a sleeve built into the actual tunnel section where you can put a pole into and insert it into and clamp it into a gutter. So whether you've got like a reamer rail or just a general old-fashioned gutter rail, you can always do that as well. So lots of flexibilities. You've got an entrance door in tunnel section on both sides as well. So it means you can enter directly through the front or the back without going through the awning. So you can get access to the van all the time without disturbing what's going on inside. Other things to mention are things like the front door, as we can see here. We'll bring the camera around in just a moment. You've got a full mesh door and it's sort of comboed up with a window. So you've got great ventilation directly into the awning itself. And it's almost like a mirror image, like I said, so your corridor sort of tends to be nice and close to the van, leaving that bit of storage space quite nice and neatly there. Mesh doors on both sides, so you've got that ventilation with the rain-safe canopy, so you can leave this open, have the airflow in, not have to worry about rain coming in. And I'll tell you what, let's bring the camera around, go inside and talk through a few more features that the combo has to offer. So now we kind of swung the camera around, you can kind of get a bit more idea for certainly the sort of width you've got in the awning as well. That open canopy gives you lots of, a bit of shelter, enough to sort of sit on here with tables and chairs on a nice sort of day and just give that little bit of blockage against the wind. Velcro tabs are obviously, like I said, it secures the pole nice and neatly to it. And new again for 22 is the fact that you've got these additional toggle points here. So when you buy the porch door, you can buy it comes included with the porch door is also a kind of a window curtain that toggles in place, so you can get that completely sealed up section at the back, or like I said, at the front. Mesh doors we can see here, so we kind of open that up. You've got a normal door situated in front of it, so you can get yourself completely closed to get that weather tightness. We'll just kind of roll this back necessarily, and then retain the toggle. Now, wherever you've got clear PVC windows, certainly in the main body, you've got curtains as well. It's a toggle curtain, so quite simply just toggles up into place, just to get obviously that level of privacy as where you need it. The front kind of door lip has the ability of coming up and down, so you can either get it weather tight or less of a trip hazard. So it toggles up like so, or alternatively, you can actually physically peg that down and you can have push chairs and pram chairs and that sort of stuff directly, and even wheelchairs, just give you access nice and simply in. Everything I'm talking about at the front here is exactly the same on the back. In the main body, we kind of have a good amount of headroom height. You've got sort of really nice kind of structure, decent sort of size. You can actually buy an additional inner bedroom if you wanted to sleep someone inside of here, but if I'm being honest, it could take up literally every sort of space inside of here. It leaves you almost about a foot corridor between. So that's where I think if you're sleeping someone in here ideally, I suppose it's okay if you want to pop it up at night and take it down during the day, but that's where that additional kind of bedroom in the back section really kind of comes into its own. Admittedly, it's a little bit more pricey to do it that way, but you're going to get more useful space in doing that manner. It's also worth mentioning that the bedroom which you can buy for that isn't retrofit, because there's no kind of internal toggle points located in the canopy. So here we can see it's stitched in here and here, whereas in the 21 model you didn't have that. The door into the kind of sort of tunnel section, really nice and flexible. You can zip it from right to left or left to right, depending on what you want to do with it. You can even create a little veranda kind of style as well, so have a bit of airflow in. Admittedly, you've got mesh in there anyway, so you can do that same kind of idea, but the joys of having the flexibility of front to back or back to front means that it doesn't matter if, for example, you have it on the other side of the vehicle, the sliding door is going to go that way, or sorry, that way, and then you can mimic that with this door. So it'll still kind of mean you can roll it back, bring it about halfway, create a little bit of storage section behind there. Saying that, kind of open it all up like we have here. You can either toggle it back nice and neatly, or I'm going to be really lazy and just kind of roll it. You've also got a zip along the bottom, so you can take it across, chuck it down, and actually this will actually toggle up and toggle down, so you can lay that flat as well if you want that kind of trip-free access into the vehicle itself. See a bit clearly kind of the tunnel door. In fact, let's pick the camera up and come inside, make it a bit more apparent. So as we kind of come in, you can kind of appreciate that sort of tunnel section a little bit more. So you've got obviously the entrance there. You've got just about enough room for that. Obviously it's down key to positioning. You've got just enough room to sort of slit that door nice and neatly into there. But it kind of opens up the space really quite nicely. And again, head height room inside of the section here is really quite nice. As you can see, it kind of opens up there. The main section, we've got this lovely window, so when you come out of the van, we'll have this whole section open. You've got great visibility on the campsite, but like I said previously, as and when you wanted to. There's an additional pole you can buy to go into sort of, well, the apex in many ways. So it's an expansion pole, the additional extras, there's 3 points for them. So you can either have it directly, as we see here, the same on the opposite on the other side, and then also in the middle. So you've got these little pockets to put it in, and obviously gives a bit more tension, a bit more support to it. You've got a hanging point for a lantern, as well as little Velcro tabs leading down, and then you can always just feed the cable out through kind of the opening on the floor. As we kind of come back out through it, you can say it kind of, that whole area gives you a really nice sort of flexibility at the back of the vehicle. You just create that whole nice section, and then probably get a better look at the tunnel from this side. So really nice and taut. Tunnel door quite nice and neatly. You've got ability of the webbing straps located there, so you can expand that up as you need to, or the thrower guide straps that you can just literally lob over, or even tie to the roof rack, if I'm being honest. The additional clips, like I said, are located not only here, but also along the top here. So that again is for the additional bedroom that you can buy. When you buy the bedroom, you get a ground sheet. When you buy the porch door, it comes included with a ground sheet to seal it up, and it works really nicely, as we saw earlier kind of in the video. But overall, I think the new additions with the elongated kind of canopy section, the ability of having a bedroom in this section as well, and also more importantly the sewn in ground sheet now, I think are really great additions to this, which suddenly makes kind of what was actually already a very good awning at a great price, something that's probably even more flexible. Still good value, so it's not gone up in too much in terms of cost in relation to the rest of the market, but still gives you the flexibility that you can create what you want. It's that sort of little bit of sweet spot. It's big without being too big. It's compact. It's got flexibility. You can add bits on, so you want to make it bigger. There's no reason you can put a front porch door on the back and the front, and that's going to pretty much double the overall sort of internal section, at least anyway. So it means, yeah, you can store things around you, sort of smaller pack sizes into the van, making it a bit more easier to do. So overall, quite an impressive one. Certainly was one that was very popular for 21, and I definitely foresee it going sort of even more popular for 22, especially with the ability of people to be able to see it, whereas last year it sort of came in, went straight out. But for more information, you can always check the link below this video. It takes you straight through to our website, where we've got both the low and the mid sizes available to have a look at, as well as all the optional extras that you can look at as well, the prices, pack rates, and the spec, or individually kind of bullet pointed out as well to make it quite clearly and easy for you. But any more questions or queries, by all means let us know, obviously via email, or contact us in the sort of box below. We're great to hear from you guys on what you think of the combo. So yeah, that is kind of the Outdoor Revolution combo in the Cayman range for the 22 season going forward.